Hello, 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 everyone. Where is my lighter? Oh, here it is. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's been quite a week. It has been both a long week and a week that has moved very, very quickly. So I'm looking forward to relaxing with you all tonight, sipping on a little something, chatting away. As you come into the room, say hello. Say hello and hit those scales. I already see hello, Nicole. Hello, Adelaida. Thank you for joining me. Come on in the room, get settled, get comfortable. We haven't done happy hour in a couple of weeks, so I'm actually excited for us tonight. Really hope that people enjoy this conversation because it is something that is near and dear to my heart and something that I care about tremendously. So, that's such a good song. So I'm looking forward to our conversation. Come on, come into the room, get settled, get comfortable. We will start in just a moment. Just gonna go ahead and cleanse my space while everybody comes on in and gets settled. How is everyone doing? Go ahead and tell me how you're doing, how you've been holding up this week. The month is almost over. October been moving like it got somewhere to be. All of 2025 has been moving like it got somewhere to be. This has been a very quick yet very exhausting year. Been very, very interesting. I'll go ahead and pause this so that we can hear, so that I can hear myself. Hello again, welcome to Happy Hour. Happy Hour is where we meet and just discuss everything going on in pop culture, geopolitics, and just the cultural zeitgeist at the moment. If it is your first time tuning in, I am Mambo Soleil. Came this close to giving y'all my birthday. We not doing that. I'm Mambo Soleil. I am the Coven Mother of Vision of Dawn Tour. I am the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. I am your weekly reader, and I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. Again, happy hours where we come together, talk a little bit about pop culture, and just shoot the shit together. And tonight I wanted to talk about the internet is mad at Deante Kyle. And it's interesting because they're mad at him for something that if this were a year ago, 2 years ago, nobody would even be stunting this hard. But I think it is a bigger problem that we need to. I done sat here and got all this ash all over my fingertips. When you deal with sage, when you deal with Palo, when you deal with candles, it happens. So if I'm moving, y'all know I'm animated. So when I move my hands around, if you guys see black dust on my fingers, don't judge me. I'm a priestess. And I actually have things around me and I do work. So it's not uncommon for there to be a little bit of ash or herbs or something on my hands at some point. But yeah, I want to talk about why the internet is upset with him, why TikTok is upset with him. I want to talk about the rise of Christian nationalism. And I want to talk about why it is that there is so much misinformation about ancestral veneration. I am going to be doing an ancestral veneration review on my channel at some point in the next couple of weeks. I just have to actually schedule it. But yeah, he got on the internet and he said what I assume that if y'all are watching me and if y'all have followed me, if y'all are friends of mine, I don't think that y'all feel like what he said is controversial, but for whatever reason, it was controversial to the Black Respectability Police and the church intelligentsia. But he said that, we should be venerating our ancestors. We should care about our ancestors. And that a lot of times what he said is Jesus is in the way. And he said that Jesus is in the way of people actually tapping into spirit, having good relationship with God, and having a respect for their ancestors, because people want to venerate and focus on this white man that they believed died for our sins, when we know for a fact that our ancestors died for us, right? They shed their blood for our progress so that we can be in the position that we're in. So if Jesus, and he was talking specifically about the white iconography of Jesus, if Jesus is worth venerating, why aren't our ancestors worth venerating? And it put people into a tizzy. It put people into absolute tizzy. From the one woman that called him the literal Antichrist and said that ancestors are demonic. That's her ancestors. Her ancestors are demonic. She ain't gonna say that about my ancestors. But she said that ancestors are demonic, to multiple other people that are saying a whole bunch of really ridiculous things. Digging the eyeshadow. So, okay. Thank you, Aisha. Y'all, every time I get on here, y'all say something that makes me feel cute. And it's always something that makes me feel cute about something that I'm sensitive about. Because y'all can probably tell by how slow I'm talking, but I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. So when I went to do my makeup, first of all, I'm not wearing any foundation. I didn't realize I didn't put on any foundation until I was almost done with my makeup. I just literally put on concealer and powder. That's why I'm shinier than normal. But I went to put on my typical brown eyeshadow base, and I wasn't paying attention. And I washed a peach eyeshadow all over my entire eye. And it was one of those things where I was like, it was going to take more energy to take it off and do it over than it would to just go with it. So I was like, I don't know what this looks like, but I'm just going to lean with it. So thank you, Aisha, for affirming me. I appreciate you tremendously. Hey, Oma Morare says, I love him, and him wearing that mask after the backlash sent me. We love a petty queen. We love somebody who's petty. We love somebody who will go with the narratives and who will lean into the shitty things that people say about them. I thought that was funny too. Not only him wearing it, but him wearing it while he's wearing a Trump suit was hilarious to me. But yeah, what was my point? I think it's really, really sad. I think it's really sad how ill-informed most Christians are. There's another content creator named Jasmine, and she said that a lot of Christians are functionally illiterate. And that may sound harsh, but I think that she's correct, right? She's illiterate in the way that a lot of college students at Division I or Research I universities are illiterate. I'm saying this as somebody who's had more than 25 years in higher education, somebody who's literally been teaching at the collegiate level since they were 19 years old. I'm now in my 40s. And this is why I always tell, especially like my clients that I work with who are sensitive about not having higher education degrees, if you have your own business, if you have a bomb-ass job and you're making money, there is literally no reason to feel bad about not having a degree. Because when you teach at college and you realize that most people cannot read, they cannot write, their privilege is just giving them access to certifications, it really breaks your heart. When I was teaching both at UC Berkeley and at UC Santa Barbara, the amount of students that came from really amazing high schools, private schools, all kinds of places that literally, they can read in that they can recite. They can memorize, they can repeat, they can mimic, they can repeat things back to you. But the comprehension aspect is completely lost. I would have students all the time read things, and when I would ask them to tell me what it means, they would either stutter or stammer or clam up. And then the white ones, especially the rich white ones, they would get an attitude and be like, well, you're supposed to tell me this, that's your job. You're supposed to tell me what this means. No, the fuck it's not. You're supposed to be able to comprehend what the fuck you've read. And a lot of Christians are that way. I tell people all the time, and I mean this with my whole heart, my whole chest, I have a deeper and stronger relationship with the Bible now as a hoodooism and also as a voodooism than when I was a Baptist Christian. I still identify. And here's the thing, I feel weird saying that I'm not a Christian because I work with Jesus. I have a strong relationship with Jesus. There are several Loa that are syncretized with the energy of Jesus. Assuming that people in ATRs don't know Jesus, don't work with Jesus, is a huge assumption, and it can get you fucked up because there are a lot of deity that are syncretized with the energy of Jesus. And we work with Jesus, we just don't believe that he is God the way that Christians do. We believe that he is an ancestor. We see him as an ascended master. But the broader point that both of them have made about Christians being somewhat illiterate and not being able to understand what they're seeing in the Bible is ridiculous. So is Obatala and Ifa. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Omomorare. You low-key can't practice Vodou without having a respect for Jesus and for Catholicism and for Christianity. I don't really trust Vodouisms who tell me that we shouldn't engage with the Bible. That's just my personal opinion. Why the fuck would you have the syncretized images of the saints with a Loa and then shame people for understanding that Jesus is a thing? That's why they showed up through the saints, because of that relationship. But if y'all want that conversation, y'all gonna have to pay for it. I'm not gonna go off and have a class about Vodou right now. But I say that to say that, yes, a lot of Christians are illiterate. A lot of Christians have no relationship with the Bible. What they have a relationship with, and they don't fully understand they have a relationship with, is white supremacy. They have a deep relationship with white supremacy. It is not a surprise to me that at the current time that we have this rise in Christian nationalism, that we also have a rise in Black people shaming Black indigenous religion. We have a rise in Black people saying ignorant things like Jesus brought us into slavery to save us. I've seen people say that. I've seen pastors and podcasters say that. Saying ignorant things like our ancestors are demonic, that we should not engage with our ancestors. That's all white supremacist talking points. And again, this is happening with the rise of Christian nationalism because do you really think in this climate where the government is snatching people's jobs and snatching people's resources and snatching people out of their homes in the middle of the night, do you really think that our white supremacist government, that the powers that be want us to understand the power of the ancestral power that runs through our veins and that is deeper than our blood? Do you really think that they want us to understand who we are and what we're capable of in this climate where they're actively trying to break us? Or do you want us to believe, or do you think that they want us to believe that we are weaker than what we are, to be disconnected from our power and our humanity, to believe that the only way that we can have salvation is through disconnecting from spirit and waiting from the wisdom of a white phantom? That's what they want from us right now. So, as somewhat hilarious, although sad, as the response to Deante Kyle is, and as ridiculous as it is to hear the Black Christian mob, the Black respectability mob, say the things that they do about ancestral veneration, as sad as it is, I'm not surprised because we've gone from Christianity being a tool that we've used and shaped within our religious cosmology to bring us liberation. We've gone from that back to this engagement with Christianity as a tool of submission and a tool of colonialism. And the amount of Black Christians that are way too happy and way too excited about submitting to massa right now, it is fucking frightening. And it's uncomfortable to witness. The Bible talks about ancestral veneration. Do you think that the commandment of honor thy mother and thy father so that thy days will be long is just about our literal mother who birthed us and our father who, respectfully, it's going to sound vulgar, nutted in her in order to get the seed to impregnate? You think it's just talking? No, they're talking about the bloodlines. They're talking about the bloodlines. Honor your mother's bloodline. Honor your father's bloodline so that your days can be long. Know where you come from. Honor where you come from. And there are other verses too. If you know your Bible, ancestral veneration is written into the Bible. They don't call it ancestral, and that's why I say that Christians are illiterate, right? Just because they don't say the words ancestral veneration, your knuckle dragging, non-reading ass is thinking that that's not a part of the Bible. But again, most of them are not reading the Bible. Most of them are sitting in a building on Sundays with some man in an extremely overpriced suit barking at them about handing over their paycheck, and they're listening to him bastardize the Bible in order to shame them into handing their money over. And if we want to talk about demonic, it's all kind of demonic shit that happens in the Christian church, especially these mega churches. What Marvin Winans done this week, that was demonic. Oh, you think that greed and gluttony is not demonic? It's one of the 7 deadly sins. To be so greedy that somebody is coming to you and willingly, that woman was happy to hand over that $1,200. She was happy to give that sacrifice to the church. And he turned around and he shamed her because his greedy ass wanted more than that so that he could turn around and buy another ill-fitting, overpriced suit. Greed is demonic. That greed is demonic. The pastors and the deacons who notice that the little girls, the teenage girls, are starting to fill out and develop more and are hugging them longer are demonic. They're fucking perverts. The pastors that can't control their lust and are actively cheating on their wives with members of the congregation, they're demonic. That's demonic. The church mothers that are shaming the little girls that are being sexually assaulted in the church, that are being groomed, they're demonic. There's a lot of demonic things about the Christian church that we can point out. So let's talk about it. We can definitely talk about it. But telling somebody that put in a little liquor on the mantle next to the urn to honor their auntie is demonic, you should be ashamed of yourself. Telling somebody that when they pour a little liquor out and speak their ancestor's name, speak the name of their dearly departed during family gatherings, telling them that that's demonic, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because a lot of the members of the church do demonic shit over and over again, every day. I'm tired of these Christians that sit there and let nasty things happen to the children in their family. You want to sit there and you make your babies go and sit on that nasty uncle's lap, knowing that that's going to get him off in the name of respectability. But that's not demonic. That's not demonic. The second that your daughter get a titty, you start competing with her because you hate the feminine in you. And you see every woman, even your baby that you birthed, as competition. That's not demonic. We can have a whole happy hour about all the demonic shit that gets normalized in Christian communities and the lack of framework that y'all have to address it and the lack of accountability that y'all take. We can have a whole conversation about that. It's all kind of demonic shit that happened in the Christian church. You're not going to tell me that just because when I get a blessing, I smile and I speak my mama's name, I speak my granny's name, I speak my auntie's name, Even my community ancestors, there have been things that have come through recently. Yeah, I presente Clyde. Thank you, Clyde, for your wisdom. You're not going to tell me that that's demonic. That's me being grateful for the power that is poured into me and my ability to sit here in front of you today. But y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want black women who know how strong they are. Y'all don't want black men who know the sacrifice that was put into making sure that they're here today. Y'all don't want us to understand how strong the blood is that pumps through our heart and through our veins. Y'all want us to be comfortable with y'all snatching our jobs, snatching our health care, snatching our food benefits, fucking up our babies' education. That's what y'all want. Y'all want us to be comfortable with that. Please pay attention to this rise in Christian nationalism. It is deeply anti-black, and it's anti-black on purpose. It's self-hating on purpose. I'm about to scroll. I see y'all are typing away. And I wanna gossip. I wanna keep up with the gossip. I wanna know what y'all saying. If they read the Bible, this wouldn't be a conversation. Moare, absolutely. They don't know how to read the Bible. They actively shun analysis. Yes, Phoenix Indigo. They don't read. They do not read. I have had conversations. I've had arguments with people that just as soon as they figure out what I do, they tell me that it's demonic, that it's wrong. They tell me the Bible speaks against it. And then I start reciting verses. I start bringing up stuff. Somebody, I will never forget, somebody I was back home. It wasn't this summer. It was around Christmas of last year. I was back home. And it wasn't a family member. It was a family friend. Tried to tell me that spiritual baths were demonic. Spiritual baths were demonic. He tried to tell me that spiritual baths were evil. That anything that a spiritual bath can take care of, all you need to do is call on Jesus' name and it'll get taken care of. And when I said that makes no sense because spiritual baths are in the Bible, he told me I was lying. I said, read Psalm 51. Open that Bible right now and read Psalm 51 to me. And then when he opened it and it said to cleanse me in hyssop, so that I'm clean as the snow. Oh, I didn't know it said that. Don't ever fucking argue with me if you don't know what the Bible says. How are spiritual baths demonic? First of all, I'm worried about you because why are you trying to explain to me why washing your ass is demonic? That tells me everything I need to know about you as a man and a grown-ass person. But then to try and tell me that the Bible says it's wrong when I know for a fact and I'm using herbs because they are in the Bible. I use hyssop, I use bay, I use these things, I use frankincense, I use myrrh because they're in the Bible. Just the idiocy, it's so heartbreaking. The reason we have to wear stockings in church is actually heinous. Don't even get me started on the stuff they used to make me wear just to hide things. You might as well say wiping your ass is demonic. Exactly. That's sad. Exactly. If a spiritual bath is demonic, so is baptism. Exactly. It doesn't, that's the point. It doesn't even make logical sense the way that the things that they argue, but it's never going to make logical sense because they're never going to cite the text because they don't read the text. And even if they read it, they're reading it in that fucked up Bush administration, No Child Left Behind, public school indoctrination way that people are taught to read. A lot of these young people don't know how to read. They know how to memorize. They know how to repeat things back. They know how to recite. But when you ask them, what does this mean? What did you just read? They cannot tell you. And it's only going to get worse now that we live in this AI culture. People just believe what others say without doing their own research. And that is the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem. It's just really, really sad. I wasn't surprised that people who don't read the Bible and who just want to be in groups that are based on respectability which is what the Black Christian church pretty much is. I wasn't surprised that they were upset with Deante Kyle. Was it funny? Yeah. Funny and a sad. It's funny because it's sad. But I wasn't surprised. And again, it's only going to get worse. These are the same people that will turn around and tell you that your ancestors are demonic and then try to argue you down that Charlie Kirk is a martyr. What the fuck is wrong with Black people who care and who defend Charlie Kirk? What is wrong? I'm blessed to be able to say that I don't, in my personal life, I don't even know no white people. I don't know a single person in my life. White, Black, Asian, Latino, Chicano. Like, I don't know a single person in any background in my own life, in real life, that would argue that Charlie Kirk is a martyr. But if you look on TikTok and if you look on YouTube, there are so many Black influencers, Black Christian influencers that are like fucking punching the air on some Cuba Gooding Jr. shit over Charlie Kirk. This man hated you. He wanted you dead and incarcerated. He believed that you were a savage based off of his own words. Not only did he believe you were a savage, but from his own mouth, he said that if somebody raped your 10-year-old baby and she got pregnant, she should be forced to have the child. The man was a brute, a white supremacist brute. And you care more about him than the Black and brown people that are getting hurt in your community? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I know why Candace issue is, I know what her issue is, but IDK about anyone else. Candace Owens is I used to watch her show because every now and then she would say something funny. And I do believe in watching. It's the sociologist in me. I have to watch and keep up with what the right is saying because I need to know my enemy's way of attacking me, if that makes sense. And getting conservative news felt more manageable getting it from her than it did from like Fox or whatever. But after a while, I had to stop watching her because she's on some other shit. You can make a video that rainbows don't exist because it's a trick of light and that it's gay. People will agree. It's disgusting. They didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. That part, Lavana, thank you. I would be lying if I told you I knew who that man was before he got shot in the neck that day. I did not know who he was. I didn't understand who he was. And then as soon as he started dying and people started circulating videos of the heinous shit that he was saying, I was like, okay, well, now he gets to have, hopefully they escort him quickly to his seat in hell. You got to be an evil motherfucker to say that children who are in poverty don't deserve free lunch. You gotta be an evil son bitch to say that a child who is growing up in poverty does not deserve free lunch. And that if their parents are drug addicts or if their parents aren't in a home, that it's their responsibility to go find food at a church. You want 7-year-olds to figure out how to go and get access to food and resources at a church, instead of just letting the government take some of the money away from bombing other countries to feed its children. You got to be a special kind of a demon to say some shit like that with a straight face and a football head. Again, an example of something that's demonic, but that gets defended by Christians. One of the things, again, going back to Christian nationalism, that I think people really got to pay attention to, please pay attention to the ways in which you will see Black Christians get angry about people who are pro-Black. Because a lot of the people, whether it was them defending Charlie Kirk or whether it was them going in on Deante Kyle, some point in their conversation, yeah, because you want to be so pro-black and you want to be extra black. Nigga, aren't you black? What do you have against being black? Why are you uncomfortable with your blackness, sir? Ma'am, what's going on? What's wrong with being pro-black? That should be a blessing. You wouldn't even be sitting here on the internet being able to say the hateful shit that you say if it weren't for people that were pro-black. This rise in Christian nationalism, we have to be very, very concerned with it. We are about to see some coon ass shucking and jiving, ashy-kneed Negroes saying some of the most heinous shit about us, about our own, about our community. It's about to get really reckless, and we got to prepare. We got to prepare for it. Through our own spiritual veneration, through asking for discernment with our spirits, we gotta be careful. Bratal, what the fuck is extra black? Caring anything about the wellness of black people is quote unquote extra black or extra woke. It's extra black or extra woke. I will send you in our chat some of the TikTokers because again, once I started seeing how people responded to Deante, I went down a little rabbit hole of conservative Christian TikTokers. I will send you some of the clips where I heard people say that ignorant shit. I'll send them to you. Being anti-pro-black as a black person gives me FBA. What's FBA? What's FBA? Somebody tell me what FBA is. And these are the same people calling us sick individuals for supporting LGBT. Queer person ain't never took my rights away. In fact, queer people have always protected me. I grew up in the Bay Area. It's from queer people that I learned my politics. It's from queer people that I learned about mutual aid and how to get resources and how to share resources with other people. Queer people have always looked out for me. That's always been something I've never been able to wrap my head around. Folks want to be angry with queer people when they're some of the most loving, caring people on the planet. And it's the Christians that have the pitchforks, and it's the Christians that are out here telling young girls not to say anything about the men who rape or assault them because it's going to get them locked up. It's going to get them hurt. It's Christians that are doing that. Your queer community is going to be where that motherfucker is. We're going to go jump him. Let's be real. Let's be real. The queer babies and the sex workers in the Bay Areas are some of the most down in the Bay Areas. In the Bay Area, some of the most down people you will ever meet. Which is crazy to me that the church has issue with them because they're doing the work that the church should fucking be doing. Foundational Black America. I don't know what that is, child. I don't know what that is. I'm just black. I'm just black. People who don't believe we have African ancestors. So then what the fuck do we have? I hate this iteration of Earth, Lord. Lord, in Bonje's name, what is this particular iteration of Earth? I know it hasn't always been this ghetto. What is this? Everybody has African ancestors. Life comes from Africa. The fuck? How do we not have African ancestors? That's not even a thing. I'm not drunk. I've only had a sip of this. Make it make sense. I'm always leery and distrustful of other Black people that mock us who are pro-Black. You have to be. You have to be. In the words of ancestor, activist, sociologist, and my soror, Zora Neale Hurston, all skinfolk and kinfolk. So you have to be cautious of Black people who don't love you for loving your Blackness, because they want you to hate you as deeply as they hate themselves, and they will do any and everything that they can to throw you at the feet of Massa. I learned that the hard way when I was in grad school. So some of you guys know that I lost a friend who I love dearly, and I'm not going to cry on here tonight. About a week ago, they lost their battle with cancer. And in the process of mourning them and being flooded with all the good memories I have of this man, he was such a sweet person, such a good soul. It's been complicated for me because as much as he was a huge part of the light that I had, and my joy, the little bit of joy I had when I was in that environment, I'm also flooded with the memories of how grad school was a crash course for me in Black self-hatred and the ways in which Black people will literally come after you if they see you as a threat to their respectability in the eyes of whiteness. I went through so much bullshit. And I'm not going to have that conversation tonight because that's not what this live is about. I stand for Zora. I will tell you a personal story about her privately. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. I love Zora Neale Hurston. She deserved better than what we gave her. She absolutely deserves better than how she passed. Anybody here who venerates community ancestors, consider working with Zora. It'll give you a lot of wisdom about how to navigate the bullshit climate of this current era and to still keep your joy and your glamour in the process. What is a Solon? What is so? I know. So I'm a huge Mauna Leo fan. I'm obsessed with her. Listen to her album if you haven't. I still don't know what a Solon is. I just love that song. All the non-Blacks get to the back. Honey on my tongue, I talk slicker than you hoes. That's such a good song. Such a good. I actually quoted that song last night in my love and sex magic class because it's such a good song. But yeah, I think it's only about to get worse. It's only about to get worse in terms of the ignorance that people have towards religions, not even just religion that is not Christianity. I think different denominations of Christianity are about to be vilified. People are about to come for the Catholics and the Baptists really, really hard, especially the Baptists, because that we get mounted. We get mounted. And so it's only going to be, we are a hair away, a hop and a skip away from them starting to say that getting the Holy Ghost is demonic. I think that the rise in Christian nationalism is only going to make people much more bigoted and much more ignorant, and we got to really be careful. Solon is similar to FBA, but not as angry. I'm learning a lot tonight. So when I get off of here, I'm a go on TikTok. My old ass has been using TikTok a lot. I'm gonna go on TikTok and I'm gonna look up Solon and I'm gonna look up FBA, especially the ones that dance with snakes in the South. Yeah, it's about to get real ignorant. People are about to get real ignorant, and they're about to expose just how disconnected they themselves are from God and from spirit, and how tapped in. And here's the thing, and I had this download years ago. And you guys, if you've taken any of my classes, you've heard me say this. So white supremacy is a spirit. White supremacy is a spirit. I've encountered it. I've encountered it as a frequency, as a spiritual energy, and it's frightening. And when you're doing spiritual work over somebody, especially a person of color, a black, brown, yellow person that has the demonic attachment of white supremacy, it can be very unnerving. And so we're about to see a rise in that demonic attachment in the coming years. That's why we need to lean further into our ancestral veneration. We need to really, really trust it. Yes, it is a spirit. Absolutely, Lovana. And so I bring that up because we have to actively start protecting ourselves from it. All this shit that's going on with the government shutdown and the jobs being taken, I haven't gotten food stamps in years. So I was on food stamps once when I was taking care of a child. And then outside of that, I wish I got food stamps. Shout out. The eggs I like are $11 a dozen. But this is why I know that even with all this shit that the government is doing, I'm going to be okay. Because literally in my spiritual protection work, I have guards and I have wards around the spirit of white supremacy. And I strongly encourage you all to start thinking about that, to make your spiritual work and your protection work a little bit more sophisticated. Because that demonic attachment, that spirit of white supremacy, is only about to get more vicious. It's because it's being fed. All of this shit is to feed that demonic spirit. Everything that this government is doing, this administration is doing, everything that all these knuckle dragging, boot licking ass black people are doing, this self-hatred that they're proselytizing, it is a sacrifice and a way to feed that demonic spirit of white supremacy. And the more that demon gets fed, the more vicious it's going to become. So that's another part of the reason why I really wanted us to have this conversation, because we got to think about that. White people venerate their ancestors all the time. White supremacy is being venerated all over the place. All these statues and these hospitals and government buildings and libraries that are named after eugenicists and white supremacists and rapists and plantation owners, all of that is ancestral veneration. And the more that we continue to feed it through our self-hatred, the more rampant that demonic spirit is going to become. So we got to be aware of it. We got to have these conversations. It is happy hour, so I am offering readings. Y'all know that I do this whenever I do Astral Hour or Happy Hour. Next week, the veil is thinning. Next weekend is Fetgede. And that's what we call it in my religion, Fetgede. You may know it as Day of the Dead. So the veil is thinning. So it's only proper in light of this conversation around myths around ancestral veneration that I give a specialty reading about ancestors. So if anybody would like a thinning of the veil reading, go ahead and send your love offering either via Cash App or PayPal. Let me go over the cards or the format for the thinning of the veil reading. It's 3 cards. Y'all know I always do 3 cards. Card 1 is to look at the ancestral message that your spirits have for you in preparation for Fetgede or Day of the Dead. Card 2 is looking at the offering or the action you should be taking for them in celebration of this holy day or holy weekend. Card 3 is going to look at the blessing or the outcome. So what's going to come to you as a blessing if you heed the guidance of your ancestors. If anybody wants one of these readings, go ahead and send your love offering. I'm happy to just continue the conversation. It's totally up to you, but just know that I am offering readings. And if you want a thinning of the veil reading, I'm happy to do it for you. Let's see. What are people saying? That's another thing. We can't get too complacent with them. They do their magic in plain. Yes, they do magic too. They practice magic too. They do it in plain sight. White people and people who want to be white at some point, the people who are aimed to wash whiteness or wash blackness out of their lineage, the ones that want to be black, the ones that want to be white at some point, they do magic and they do it right in our face. They do it right in our face. They have their pictures up and they have their candles that they light in honor of their ancestors. They make it a point to name buildings, to name houses, to name estates, right? When white people buy acres of land and they have family estates, they name it after certain ancestors on purpose. They do veneration too. They do veneration and then they mock us for doing it, which is fucking insane. They have a room full of fresh offerings in a royal palace. They know exactly what the fuck they're. Absolutely. Absolutely. People are out here driving around with Confederate flags like it's nothing. People are driving around with Confederate flags in certain places. I know in California, the rise of hate crimes is a lot. And it's funny because my friend, to this day, I've been here 5 years, and my friends from California will still ask me if I feel safe in the South, if I feel safe in Georgia. Has anybody done to me? And it's like, you are more likely to be called a nigger as a black person in California than you are in Georgia. In Georgia, they know you'll get your ass whooped. You'll get shot in the fucking face. In California, that's where they do all kind of fucked up shit to black people. Let's be real. Zero reason for Confederate monuments to be up and still be celebrated. Absolutely. Those of us that have white spouses, can we protect them? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can protect your white spouses. There's nothing wrong with having white spouses. All of us have white ancestors, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but it's making sure that you're not calling forward the spirits that are fucked up. But yeah, you can all protect. If you have a spouse, protect your spouse, regardless of what their background is. Absolutely. You should be protecting yours. I just talked about this last night in my love and sex magic class. If you are a married person, you should be doing work over your partner. You should be doing it. You have an obligation, in fact, to be doing work over your partner. Hey, Miss Renee, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I don't know if you just got here or not, but we're talking about Christian nationalism, the fact that Christians are illiterate and that they're drinking the Kool-Aid of white supremacy. I believe one of our directors at work is a neo-cult. You can feel it coming. That's the thing. When you do this work long enough, you can feel certain things coming off of people. Anytime I encounter somebody that has some glamour over them, I feel that shit. I pick it up immediately. When I reread Fervent over the summer, I noticed the strategy she said the enemy uses for spiritual attacks are the exact things that white supremacy, capitalism, nationalism, etc. does. Absolutely. Fervent is a good book. It is an amazing book. It breaks down the nature of spiritual warfare in a way that is really, really easy to understand. The donation is the same every Thursday, Nicole. It is $11.11. If you want to send more and you want to bless me, you are more than welcome to. But it's a base offering of $11.11. All right, Aisha, I'll do yours then. I didn't know you sent an offering. I was busy sitting here running my mouth. My apologies for that. Let me see. I see that Thomas sent one as well. So I will start with Aisha and then I'll do, I'm sorry, I said your birth name on here. I'm so used to calling you that. I'll start with Aisha and then I'll do Omomoware. And then if there's anyone else that would like a reading, go ahead and send your love offering. If you send it over PayPal, just let me know because I can't check the PayPal. I can check the Cash App a little bit more easily. But I'm going to go ahead and start with Aisha and then we'll do Omomoware. Let's see. I don't know if y'all sick of me using Afro Anime, but it's just such a clear deck. So that's what I'm going to use to start. And then if I feel called to move to one of my other decks, I will, okay? I'm late. What's the reading this evening? In preparation for Fetgere, for the Day of the Dead, which is next weekend, I'm doing a Thinning of the Veil reading, a 3-card reading, just to let you know what your ancestors want you to be aware of, what offerings you should be prioritizing for them, and what blessings they have in store for you on the other side of Day of the Dead. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits that walk with me. What wisdom do? What wisdom do Aisha's ancestors have for her at this time? What do they want her to be aware of in preparation for Fetgede? In preparation for Day of the Dead? How should she be speaking with and honoring her ancestors at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I am running a sale right now. I was thinking about putting Ancestral Life Path readings on sale in honor of Fetgede. I haven't made a decision yet. If I do, I'll let you guys know in Sunday's reading. But for right now, I hope that this helps people just in terms of thinking about what they should be doing. And again, it may not be, that's what we call it in Vodou. In Vodou is Fetgede. I don't know what other people's practices have or call it. You may know it colloquially as Day of the Dead, especially if you live in an area with a large Chicano population. But it's a time of the year where we need to be really thinking about and listening because the veil is going to be so thin. The spirits are going to show up for us whether we call on them or not, so we might as well be aware. Okay, let me go back and, because my memory ain't shit, so let me go back and look at the spread. So in the position of what do your ancestors want you to know right now, Aisha? We have the Magician. We just talked about this actually. Your spirits want you to be doing more spiritual work. They really want you to be trusting yourself to do more spiritual work. They really want you to work on your relationship with yourself and with them as a magician. There are other spiritual workers in your bloodline, and you have conjurers in your bloodline on both sides. And so the more that you do spiritual work, the more that you give yourself permission to trust that you have this knowledge, trust that you have this wisdom in your bloodline, trust that you have enough tools at your disposal to make things work, the more that not only you will see things come into balance in your life, but it will also connect you much more deeply to them. Now, in the position of the offering, which talks about, hold on a second. The position of the offering, which talks about what can you offer or do to honor them and strengthen your connection, you need to fast. I don't know when was the last time you fasted. And when we talk about fasting, actually, if you want me to pull a clarifier over this, I'm happy to. I don't know when was the last time you fasted, but I think it would be good for you to fast, at least for the 3 days during Fetgede. And fasting could be anything. It could be you taking a break from social media. It may need to be food. You may need to do a sun up, sundown fast during Fetgede. I don't know, but the devil card coming up being a card of temptation and a need to control your vices or to consider sacrifice is coming up. So that is something that they would like to see you do to honor them during Fetgede. In the position of the blessing, what's going to happen or in terms of allowing for a flow, once you heed their guidance and their wisdom, on the other side of this fast is breakthrough in terms of you moving forward towards certain things you want, right? Chariot, goal execution, driven to succeed, going after what you want powerfully and unencumbered by the obligation and the opinions of other people. Fasting through Fetgede is really going to help you with that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a clarifier just to get a little bit more understanding. I'm gonna clarify with Hoodoo Tarot. That feels right. Just to get a bit more understanding of what you need to fast from. What does she need to fast from? Give us wisdom about how she should be fasting at this time, ancestors. Give us wisdom around what fasting looks like for her at this time and in this moment. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I would say that it's social media. Okay, so the literal thing that you need to fast from is gossip and social media. Um, if there are people that you give too much space to, you need to take a break from them, especially in this makes a lot of sense actually, because if you are too wrapped up in the opinions and the thoughts of other people, it's only going to distract you. We have Seven of Swords upright, we have Two of Cups in reverse. So there are people that you think that you are being reciprocal with and that you're holding space from. It's actually serving as a form of self-sabotage and distraction. So I would say that the fasting, probably sun up to sundown, and it may be hard for you to do. You may feel guilty doing it, but having certain hours during that 3-day period where you have your phone on D&D, and certain people just can't call you or interrupt you in the middle of the day, right? You may want to remove certain apps from your phone until Day of the Dead or that weekend is over, right? I think really minimizing your contact with other people. And I think this is interesting because with all this coming up over the devil card, I know I'm taking longer on your reading than I anticipated. I apologize for that because this is just a really interesting message. You distract yourself with other people's concerns and obligations, and you do it in a way where you believe you're being helpful. That's why this message is coming up through the Seven of Swords, right? Self-sabotage, but it's also manipulation from other people, or a way that you manipulate yourself, right? That's why it's addictive, right? It's addictive in that it lulls you into a false belief of productivity, but your productivity needs to be used for you. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. I started and pulled back from family and socializing. You need a break from it. I would say wait until after November 3rd. After November 3rd, it is what it is. But again, while this veil is thinning and also through Day of the Dead, you need to be focused on yourself, your husband, and what your spirits are telling you. That needs to be your primary concern. Okay. Okay, I'm glad that made sense. I'm glad it was helpful. All right. I see a couple other people have sent offerings in. So I'm going to do Omo Moare next. After Omo Moare, I will do, hold on a second. Some of you guys are sending to my old account and my new account. So I have to switch back and forth. That's why I'm getting confused. Just be patient with me. We'll do Omo Moare next. Then we'll do Sinidra. Then we'll do Nicole. Then Adelaida. And if there's anybody after that I've missed, just put your name in the chat and I will keep my eye out for you, okay? So Omo Moare, Sinidra, then Adelaida. Sorry, Omo Moare, Sinidra, Nicole, then Adelaida. And then we'll go from there, okay? All right. All right, Omo Moare, we'll see what your message is. Ancestors. What does Omo Moare need to know at this time that will allow her to prepare for Fetgere and to strengthen and deepen her connection with her spirits? What do they want her to be focused on at this time? What is the blessing and the wisdom that they have for her at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You sent one as well? Okay, thank you, Chantel. Thank you, Berserker Magica. I'm just trying to, and I know it's gonna take people a little. My ear is itching. Oh my God. What the fuck are they about to say to you on Momo. That was crazy. Yeah, if you send it to my personal, that's fine. It's I'm trying to transition over to my business one. I've only had it for a couple of weeks, so it's no worries. I know that some of you guys are used to the old one. Okay. And I wouldn't know this about you because you're such a light and you're so bright, Omomoare, but there's something that you feel like you've lost or that you've wasted, and it brings you a lot of pain and a lot of sadness. Um, and in terms of what they want you to focus on right now is they want you to let that go. They don't want you to be so wrapped up in that you don't understand the amount of opportunity that's around you. If you continue to think about your past or this particular loss, it's only going to cause you to stagnate. And there's a lot around you in terms of what's due to you. The other reason why they don't want you to hyperfixate on that, in addition to the fact that it has the potential to steal your joy, they don't want you to hyperfixate on it because, so this is the offering and it's also the message about why they don't want you to hyperfixate. Whoever played in your face, they're already being dealt with. Whoever it is that put you in this position where you are looking at this loss or you have this sadness or this regret, that they're already being dealt with. They just want you to understand that even when, because it's almost like you have, sometimes there are certain heartbreaks. Y'all not gonna make me cry on here. There are certain heartbreaks we live through or live with where we don't even want to go to our spirits and ask them to handle it because we feel like we fucked up. We feel like we put ourselves in that position. You didn't. You didn't. People will try us just because they're bored or they don't love themselves. And even when we don't ask for the spirits to balance things out, they're going to balance it out. So they really, really want you to know that. I've been told, I'm still unclear about Ifa. So I've been told that Oya is the Dantor equivalent. I've been told that in my recent months, I've learned that there's a huge connection between Oshun and Dantor as well, right? But whoever that feminine energy that has that Dantor protective bringer of justice dynamic in your pantheon, they really want you to focus on your conversations with her up and through Fekgede. They really want you to, because there is wisdom. She's literally going to give you understanding about how this is being balanced out. I think you have low-key kind of lost faith in the justice, or you've been telling yourself that you don't need to be concerned with the justice. And yeah, you don't need to be concerned with it and that you don't need to obsess over it. But you knowing how much they took care of this is also going to bring you a sense of comfort. You need to know how much they love you, right? So in terms of the offering that you need to give or the way that you honor, is that you need to really prioritize your conversations with this spirit up and through next weekend, okay? And the blessing that comes is your restart, right? It brings you a new passion for life. It brings you back your vigor. It brings you back your ability to refocus on everything that your journey has to teach you. And it makes you more excited about going back and taking risks. Because whatever this is, it's making you question whether or not you should take further risks. And you absolutely should. There are blessings that come from you being a passionate student of life and taking risks and going big. And she is going to walk with you and help you understand, I'm taking care of this. I need you to continue to stand in your power. I need you to stand in your purpose. Okay? Oh, Kosi. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You would know better than I do. Think about the scales and think about justice, whichever one of them shows up in that way. Have conversations with them between now and November 3rd. They have a lot of wisdom to give you, okay? I hope that was helpful. I hope it made sense. See, Sanidra, then Nicole, then Adelaida, and then Chantel. Okay. All right. Sanidra, you here? Sanidra, baby, hit a scale or hit a blue heart so that I know you're still here. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Sanidra's ancestors want her to have at this time? What is the wisdom that they want her to carry into Fekere? What is the sacrifice, the way that they want her to honor them? What is the blessing that comes from that honor? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You sent one too, Tori? Okay, I got you. I'll get you after Chantel. So you'll be, okay. Sonder and Tori sent, okay. I'm going to look in a minute. It's a lot of y'all niggas. I will take care of everybody. I promise. I got y'all. I got everybody. I promise. Sanidra, take 3 deep breaths for me. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Okay. So what your ancestors want you to know right now, they want you to know that things are really improving and that you need to celebrate your life in a way in which you believe that they're already improving, right? The World card is a card of, part of the reason why it always looks like the woman is dancing naked, in this representation she has on clothes, but part of the reason why it always looks like the woman is dancing naked is because she's celebrating, but she's also representing her vulnerability, right? There are things that you've already prayed for. There are things that you've worked towards. And you're literally on the precipice of entering that new chapter in that new space where you have them. But the World card wants you to really embrace it through celebration and through the belief that it's already happening for you. Okay, Sanidra? So you need to move that way. And in moving that way, it's going to be easier for you to lean into your blessings once they show up. In terms of the offering or the action they want you to take between now and then to strengthen the connection, you need to meditate more. Your spirits are actually quite active around you. They talk a lot. They have a lot to say. They show you little signs all the time. But I get that you are a person, and a lot of us do this. You pray more than you meditate. You talk more than you listen. So really prioritizing your meditation practice right now so that way you can even have the stillness to see and hear what they're saying, what they're sending to you is going to be really, really important. And the blessing that comes on the other side of this, once you heed this guidance, is the star card. You have stronger faith. You are a little impatient. You are. It's almost like if the blessing doesn't show up quickly or it doesn't show up the way you want it to. I've had this conversation with somebody in the past week. There have been times where, because I'm a hard-headed ass Taurus, earth sign bullshit. My spirits have delivered something to me, but my dumb ass didn't know that I already got the blessing because it didn't look the way that I wanted it to or I expected it to, right? And so that's why they want that spiritual stillness from you. Because again, there are times where you are asking for information or for clarity and they're giving it to you. But because you don't pause enough, right? You don't see it. So really working on your faith, working on your belief, working on your understanding that if you ask for something, you don't even have to worry about it, that it's going to be taken care of. That's what comes on the other side of you honoring them in this way. All right. Nicole, you still with me? Let me know if that resonated with you, Sanidra. Nicole, let me know if you're still with me because you're up next. Put a scale or a heart so that way I know you're still here. Okay? What wisdom does Nicole need at this time as she prepares for and enters into Fekere or Day of the Dead? What do her ancestors want her to know? What are the offerings she can use to honor them during this time? And what are the blessings on the other side of this holiday? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Awesome, Sanidra. I'm glad to hear that. It didn't look the way I wanted it or expected to when, child, you saying something. Yeah. A lot of us can be that way. It happens. It happens to the best of us. And that's part of the lesson. That's part of the walk, right? All right, Nicole, I got you. All right. So your ancestral message, they want you to, right now you're at a place of planting seeds. And they want you to be confident about the seeds you planted and to really pay attention to the way things grow in your life, right? Seven of Pentacles is not just the planting of the seeds. It's the pruning. It's the nurturing. It's the taking care. They really have a lot of wisdom to give you at this time that helps you understand how to nurture your investments and the things that you put energy into, right? So a lot of your downloads are going to be around that. They're actually really proud of the amount of sacrifice and the discipline that it has taken for you to plant these things. And because of that, they want to make sure that they give you wisdom so that things grow. You have the bounty that you want as a result of it, right? In the position of the offering or the action, similar yet different than Aisha's message, you have the Page of Swords. You need to refrain from gossip as well. But it's not so much, you don't necessarily gossip. You do accidentally tell your business, right? So I don't know if you saw those memes, those reels going around at one point where people are like, kids don't give a shit about how they represent their parents. And it would be like a kid repeating something, just repeating their parents' business, but making their parents sound crazy, right? That's what a Page of Swords energy is. Page of Swords is like childlike naivete where you overspeak, right? Because you're excited. It's the honor student. They want to show what they know. They want to show how much they've learned. And they can accidentally tell really, really precious business. So silence is your offering. Discernment around your tongue. Honoring your ancestors over this next week and a half by making sure that, because there are blessings coming, right? And these are blessings that are coming as a result of the seeds you planted. That doesn't mean that you go out and tell people, right? There's a phrase, like, a lot of us don't. We get upset that our garden isn't blossoming, but that's because every time a rosebud appears, we want to pluck it and go and show it to people. Be careful about that. They really want you to exercise some discernment around not trying to show everybody the little blossoms that are coming up, right? Because that puts you in harm's way. The blessing on the other end of that, Queen of Pentacles, you are about to sit really comfortably and peacefully in everything you sacrificed for. All of your favor and your associations are going to work in conjunction with each other to make sure that you're able to sit peacefully and abundantly in your blessings. Okay? So they really want to work with you and want you to work with them over this next week and a half around exercising restraint in regards to your tongue, so that you don't accidentally tell other people, prematurely about the blessings that are coming to you, and then accidentally end up fucking up your growth. I hope that made sense. Nicole, let me know if you receive. Okay, I see you. So you received the message. That made sense. Adelaida, you here? You're up next. Hey, La Balan, good to see you. And it was good to have you in class last night. That was really good. I hope you enjoyed it. It was my first time teaching on the subject. I had a lot of fun. When I went back and rewatched the replay this morning, I realized I told y'all way too much about my sex life and my personal business. And I apologize for that, but I hope that the information was helpful. But it's good to see you, La Balan. Adelaida, go ahead and put either a blue heart or a scale so that I know that you're with me, because you are up next, okay? If there's anyone else that wants a reading, go ahead and send in your offering. Anyone else who has not submitted their offering, go ahead and send it in. After Adelaida, I will do Chantel, then Tori, then Sonder. No worries. It was good to just have you there. I'm going to send out the emails with the replay tonight, so you'll be able to rewatch it in case you missed anything. Adelaida, you still here? Adelaida, go ahead and hit the scale or the heart, the blue heart. If you're not still here, hopefully you can come back and see your question in the replay, because I'm going to do it anyway. I don't want you to be missed since you sent in your offering. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits will walk with me. My elevated ancestors, what wisdom does Adelaida need in preparation for Day of the Dead as we approach this weekend of honor and veneration for our ancestors? What do her ancestors want her to know? What offerings do they want in terms of her honoring them? What is the blessing that lies on the other side? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. After Adelaida, we have Chantel, then Tori, and Sonder. If there's anyone else that wants a reading, just send in your offering. I really hope this candle don't go out. Adelaida, in terms of the message that they want you to know right now, they want you to know that you have everything you need. You literally have everything you need, not only materially, but in terms of favor and associations. I've said this to you many times. You are really, really blessed to have a community that really, really fucks with you. You've also done right by a lot of people, and that's going to manifest as favor for you, right? The main thing about the Queen of Pentacles is that she has so much favor in her life because she's done so many favors for other people, right? Again, she's the manager. She wheels and deals. She makes offering and sacrifice for her family name. There are people that are speaking really powerfully and kindly about you in rooms that you're not in. And that's going to manifest in terms of abundance in your life. So if that's been a concern that you've had as of late, they really want you to rest in assurance that you have everything you need, both materially, socially, and spiritually. And that's only going to continue to multiply and maintain itself. In terms of the offering or the action that you need to take, when I was with you this summer, I did have you go to the water and give the names of people who've hurt you or give your grievances to the water. I would encourage you to do that at least 2 more times between now and Day of the Dead. If you could do it this Monday, I would encourage you to do it on Monday, Friday, and Saturday if you can do all 3 days. Monday, Friday, and Saturday. If not, make sure you do it especially on Saturday, either tomorrow or this upcoming Saturday. But you really need to release your heartbreak. You are holding on to grudges and you are holding on to old pain that does not serve you. And it's only, I think about that phrase, we drink, it's like holding a grudge is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. And the way that that's showing up for you is that these grudges, this heartbreak is a blockage between you and your spirits. So again, if you can get to the water Monday, Friday, and Saturday, go all 3 days, write down your grievances, cry if you need to, and give them to the river. Okay? But if you can't do it all 3 days, then definitely make sure you do it on Saturday. They want you literally, I think of the energy of, I think of Azili energy, where like literally when we cry and we give our sorrow to them, that is a form of sacrifice, right? And your spirits aren't asking you for like anything material or and you to put anything on the altar. They just really want you to release your pain to them, okay? What's on the other side in terms of blessing is that there's stuff you're holding on to that doesn't serve you. It's like you're trying to make some old shit work. And once you release your heartbreak and you finally let this shit fall, you get the opportunity to rebuild. You get the opportunity to have a clear space. You're so scared of losing things that you're holding things that hurt you, right? And if you can just let go and let the space clear itself, that gives you opportunity. And that clear canvas gives you a lot of power. There's so much power in the tower card. We spend all this time being afraid of it, thinking that it has to be catastrophic. No, it doesn't. A lot of times, the tower card is just about the clearing of space. And when we have clear space, we have so much opportunity in terms of being able to call in something new, right? So that's your reading. That's what your spirits want you to focus on between now and then. I hope that it made sense. If you have any follow-up questions, just let me know, okay? Chantel, you here? Chantel, go ahead and put a scale or a blue heart in the chat so that I know you're with me. I do see your offering, Chantel. My apologies for that. I see it. So we're going to do Chantel, we're going to do Tori, then we're going to do Sonder. If there's anyone else after that, go ahead and send your offering if you would like a reading so that way I can make sure that I get to you, okay? But right now we have Chantel, we have Tori, then we have Sonder. Okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, which mean elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Chantel need at this time that will help her prepare for Fekere? What wisdom and messages do her ancestors have for her? What is the way that she can leave offerings for or honor them? And what is the blessing lying on the other side of this holiday? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Chantel, have you been asking for them to increase travel opportunities with you? I'm actually going to pull a clarifier over this. Clarify the Three of Wands. What does she need to know about the Three of Wands? Yeah, so whatever this move is you want to make, it can actually be like a literal physical move, like you wanting to travel somewhere, or it can be a move that you're supposed to make in terms of like opportunity, right? They want you to do it. Their message is yes. Their message is yes, right? And I know that may not make sense, but we have the Three of Wands clarified by the Eight of Wands and Judgment. Okay. Um, Whatever this move is that's going to propel you forward, they are in alignment with it. Instead of you overthinking it, they just want you to be in action around it. There may have been, they've probably been giving you a yes around it for a while, but the way that they've been showing you yes may not have resonated with you fully and completely. But they're basically saying, whatever this thing is, go ahead and just do it. Now's not the time to overthink. They want to see you be in action around it. The offering or the action that you can use to honor them and strengthen your connection. Um, You really need to work on your relationship with self-forgiveness. You can be really hard on yourself, right? Take time between now and then. You may need to do this daily between now and then, but if you don't have the time to do it daily, I would say at least on Tuesday, do this Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday of this coming week, where you need to literally write down your fears and write down your concerns around the past and burn them. Do nightly burns, right? Because the Ten of Swords is chapters that need to end, but we prolong them because we're fearful of the pain, right? Whatever's going on with this move that you need to take, you haven't done it yet, either because there's some sort of drama or difficulty involved in it, or you have some sort of guilt around it, right? You hold on to your guilt too long in general, and that is a result of you being really, really hard on yourself. So that's why you need to do that practice of your nightly burns, so that way you get a little bit motivation to move around this. And do it as an offering, right? Do it in a way where you understand that in burning this, you release these fears to them for them to handle, right? When we talk about laying our burdens at the feet of our ancestors, that's what this is allowing you to do. It's allowing you to get it out of your energy, out of your mind, hand it over to them, let them take care of it, right? The blessing that comes on the other side of this is that you get to not only be more compassionate with yourself, but other people around you, right? And then the other thing that people don't consider about the King of Cups is of the kings, he is the world traveler, right? A huge part of the reason why he is so compassionate is because he's seen so much of the world. He's deeply well educated. There's a lot in terms of how you should be moving through the world, both literally and figuratively, that you don't allow yourself because of so much guilt that you carry. So you literally need to start burning it and getting it out of your system so that you stop overthinking whatever this is you need to do, because your spirits are more than ready for you to make these moves. They've been ready for you to make it for a while. That's why they've been telling you and giving you signs around it for so long. But again, you ruminate so much that it's been hard for you to do it. Okay, those do tend to help. It's been quite a while. Okay, yeah, I think that's what you need to do between now and November 3rd. All right, Tori, you still here? Are you here, Tori? Go ahead and put a scale or a blue heart so that I know that you're still here. I'm going to do your reading anyway, but I hope that you see it in real time. So go ahead and put a scale or a blue heart. If there's anyone else that would like a reading that has not gone yet, go ahead and send your offering over. I have Tori, then Sonder, and no one else on the list after Sonder. So if there is anyone that wants a reading, go ahead and send your offering over, okay? It is a minimum offering of $11.11. If you want to send more, you're more than welcome to, but you are not obligated to in any way, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits who walk with me, elevated ancestors. What does Tori need to be aware of and mindful for as we approach Fet Yere? As this veil thins, what do her spirits want her to be focused on in terms of strengthening her connection with them? What is the wisdom and the blessing that they have for her on the other end of this holiday? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Shanice, you sent an offering too? Okay. So once I'm done with Tori, I'll do Sonder, and then I'll take care of you, Shanice, okay? And Shanice, did you send it through PayPal or did you send it through Cash App? Because I can't see the PayPal when I'm on live. It is hot. I wish I had my handheld fan. This happens when I do a bunch of readings back to back, and I have my air conditioner on. It's just like so much. It's so much, so many different energies. I just get hot. It's hot in this house. Like I've been frying chicken or something. It's hot in here. Okay. All right, Tori. So in terms of your ancestral message, what your ancestors want you to know right now and be aware of, you really got to work on being patient with yourself. You are you're very much in the student phase of your life, and you're learning about how to wield the power of your tongue, right? I think that sometimes when you get frustrated, you can say things that are defeatist, and that tendency to verbalize your defeat or not hyper, but to express your defeat can undo some of the work you've already done, right? The other message that I get with this Page of Swords is that, again, they want with you, you're very, very smart. We've already established that. You're so cerebral. And I think you get angry when you don't have the answers. And that's why this Page of Swords is coming up. They really want you to understand that they love you regardless, and they never expected you to have a whole bunch of answers. That's not something that they want from you. So you have to be comfortable with the student aspect of being a student, which is that you're still learning, and learning requires patience, as opposed to leading into that debilitation aspect of the Page of Swords, where for them it's like, well, I'm the honor student. Why don't I get this? Why don't I understand this yet? You're not going to understand everything very quickly. You're not going to know why everything is happening, and that's okay, right? But you got to be careful, because when the Page of Swords feels like they're not getting an answer quick enough, or they don't understand something quick enough, or God forbid they see another student get something quickly, they can get really reckless with their mouth. So they just really want you to be aware of that and be careful about that. In terms of the offering or the action that you can take to honor them and strengthen your connection, you need to be doing more affirmations. So rather than speaking your defeat and your frustration, get a set of really powerful affirmations. I am affirmations, and say those. Especially, they want you to do this twice a day. They want you to start your day with these affirmations, and they want you to say them again in midday, sometime between noon and 3 p.m., right? It's going to help you trust yourself and them more, because what we know about King of Wands is they have such a deep belief in themselves and their ability, and the fact that the world is conspiring in their favor, that they don't really give up like that. And so you having a set of affirmations that you repeat daily between now and November 3rd is really going to not only strengthen your trust within yourself or of yourself, but strengthen your trust in them. What's on the other side of that is that you will stop thinking and be in your life. You know what I mean? Knight of Wands it's that Aries energy. So it's running head first into things without thinking. Yes, which for a cerebral person can be very unnerving and scary, but that shit's also fun. You need to be having much more fun. And I've said this to you before with your little tiny self. You show up energetically a lot older than what you are, right? Like Knight of Wands is coming up to say that you need to be more youthful. You need to give yourself permission to have fun. You don't have to wait until you have the right answers and have everything figured out to let yourself have fun, right? And so on the other side of all of this, as you work on your confidence, not only in yourself and in your spirits around you, and as you learn to trust and let go of this need to have all of the right answers, on the other side of all this is just a lot of fun. A lot of fun, a lot of joyful memories, a lot of you getting to experience yourself in the moment, as opposed to feeling like you have to have everything planned, every T crossed, every I dotted. Okay? I hope that made sense. Sonder, baby, you here? Sonder, go ahead and put a scale emoji or a blue heart so that I know you're with me. Again, I'm going to do your question anyway, but I want to make sure that you get to see it in real time, okay? You're more than welcome, Tori. I hope that was helpful for you. We're going to do Sonder, then we're going to do Shanice. And if there's no one else after Shanice, we'll go ahead and wrap up for the night. That way I can go put some ice on the back of my neck. What the hell is happening? All right, Sonder. Let's see what's in store for you. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits walk with me. Elevated ancestors, what wisdom does Sonder need that will allow them to prepare for Fekere? How will their spirits be showing up for them between now and November 3rd? How can they best honor their connection with their spirits and deepen their connection with their spirits? And what are the blessings on the other side of this holiday? Any wisdom shared? It's deeply appreciated. Okay, thank you. I'll look for it there. I appreciate you. Appreciate you tremendously. The best, they want you to understand right now that the best way that you defend yourself and protect yourself is by not even paying attention to most of these hoes. Like, I don't want to say it. Like, the Seven of Wands is coming up, right? And I think you're another one, very similar to Tori, where you're like more cerebral than I think you understand. I think sometimes when people are really smart, they expect everybody else to be smart. And there are times where you get wrapped up in these arguments that really don't fucking serve you. They don't help you. They don't propel you forward. All they do is bring you down into the mud with the idiots and the people that like being down on a lower level, right? And again, you deeply want to believe that people are as smart as you. And I don't even just mean intellectually. I mean in terms of your heart energy. Everybody don't have emotional intelligence like that. Rather than worrying about taking everybody with you, focus on protecting yourself in your elevation. And the way that you do that is by just being like, okay, fuck it, I'm just moving forward. Sorry, not sorry, right? Stop arguing with these hoes. because they're not going to get it. And in fact, not only are they not going to get it, you wasting the time to over explain shit to them that they don't get makes them feel like they are on your level when they're not. So just focus on who you are and where you're going. That may sound or feel stuck up. It doesn't have to be. It's just a reality, okay? In terms of the offerings that you need to put on your altar, or that you need to, the offerings you need to give to honor and strengthen your ancestral connection. For them, it's funny. Your spirits are so literal. Like, if you have any coins, put them on your altar. They want money, but they specifically want coins. If you have gold coins, then that's perfect, but any kind of coins, right? Putting that on your altar is not only going to be considered a gift to them, it's also just an investment. There are some opportunities that are coming to you, and these opportunities are going to show up to you for you in the next 3 weeks to 3 months. So these are just like investments. It's a physical representation of the investment that they're actively putting into you right now, if that makes sense. So every couple of days between now and November 3rd, between when Fekete wraps up, just put a couple of coins on the altar for them. That's the main thing you need to do right now. The blessings on the other side of that, again, celebration of the opportunities that are to come. You're going to toast some really big celebrations. There are going to be a lot of people honoring you and speaking really well about you. So here's the thing, even though you're going to be celebrating these big wins, Seven of Wands along with the Three of Cups does talk about gossip. So that's another reason why they don't want you to over explain and over talk with everybody, because there are going to be some people that are going to try to make you feel like you're crazy, or like you shouldn't be going after, or you shouldn't be opening up and welcoming yourself to the opportunities that are coming to you. And it's going to piss you off when they're going to want to sit up under you and try to toast with you when they try to talk you out of those things. So this is going to keep your energy clean for when those blessings arrive. So that way you're only celebrating with people that actively meant you well, or who aren't going to gossip about you, okay? Oh, the 31st is your birthday. Happy early birthday. I'm excited for you. I love birthdays. That's exciting. Happy birthday. All right. Shanice, you still here? Her, because they def got bills. Okay, yeah. Give them some coins. Shanice, you still here with me? Shanice, you here? Shanice, go ahead. Okay, perfect. So if there is no one else, we're going to wrap up with Shanice. If there's anyone else that would like a reading after Shanice, go ahead and send your love offering now. And once I'm done with Shanice, I will do your reading. If not, then we will wrap up with her. You are more than welcome, Sonder. You are very, very welcome. And again, happy birthday. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, elevated ancestors, what does Shanice need to know that will allow her to feel empowered and prepared for Fekete, or Day of the Dead, which is coming up next weekend? What message do her ancestors want her to have? What are the ways that she can best honor her ancestors at this time? And what is the blessing on the other end of this holiday? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Five of Cups. What do we need to know about the Five of Cups? In terms of the messages that your ancestors have for you right now, there's something in terms of nostalgia that keeps pulling at you. There's something from a younger iteration of yourself. It can be your childhood self. It could be late teens. You know more than I do. I'm getting like preteen energy, 11 to 13 kind of. I don't know, but there's something that you desired as a younger version of yourself. And you've lost touch with it through your adultification. You've lost touch with it as you've gotten older. And it's only when you allow yourself to be still that you start to feel your nostalgic pull towards it. Your spirits really want you to understand that you still deserve to have that thing. It's not childish to want or desire this. As you sit in meditation over this next week and a half, you have an energy that's a lot, and it's a little different than how Tori shows up. It's like you've already told yourself that certain opportunities are no longer available to you, even though you got mad time in front of you, right? And that's why that longing is there. It's almost like, I'm still taking readings, Tiffany. If you want one, go ahead and send in your love offering, and I can do you after Shanice. This nostalgia that you've been feeling is here to tell you that your time is not over. So they don't want you to look at it as indulgent. They want you to know that these things you desire are there because you need to allow yourself to have them. Okay? In terms of the offering that you can take, or that you can give, the way that you need to honor your ancestors, I'm not gonna say that. So I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound harsher than I mean it to. Stop looking at your veneration as burdensome. It's almost like you see it like a checklist of things you need to do, and there's a danger in not getting it right. They really want you to take this time over the next 10 days to honor them through celebration. You need to be singing at your altar. You need to be dancing with them. Whatever alcohol you have for them, girl, take a shot or two with them. Like toast with them. Let yourself have fun with them. Because a huge part of the reason why there is this youthful longing in you is because there's an energy in your life right now that's all work and no play. And that's even translated and transferred over into your relationship with your spirits. So they really want you to have fun with them. Be playful with them, dance with them, sing with them, drink with them. Reminisce with them. Because there are probably memories that the dearly departed, particularly, that are related to whatever this thing is, that if you just sit and, reflect with them in your meditations and talk to them, it'll actually bring them a lot of joy. Bring some joy into how you venerate your ancestors, Shanice. What is on the other side of this, and I pulled a clarifier over your card about the blessing because it felt a little random to me. 5 of Cups. You get to leave your sadness behind. You overthink so much. You are so critical of yourself and of the mistakes you've made in your past that you hyperfixate on those and you don't even allow yourself to see your blessings. And it's caused an imposter syndrome in you. It's caused you to feel like, for whatever reason, your life is either inauthentic or that you don't have the tools within you to get after what you want. So the blessing on the other side of this joyful veneration is that you get to live a much more authentic life. You get to really allow yourself to flex the strengths or to sharpen the strengths that allow you to live the way you want to live, as opposed to feeling this imposter syndrome where like you don't get to be joyful. You don't get to have these things. I hope that made sense. I'm overthinking the veneration. I'm a Gemini. Oh, yeah, Lord God. Whew, you Geminis. If it's anybody that's gonna overthink the veneration, it's gonna be the Geminis and the Libras. I don't know why y'all are like that, but y'all air sign babies will really overthink y'all veneration. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set the date for the ancestral veneration review, and then once I set it, I'm gonna start advertising it because I can tell that we really, really need it. All right, Tiffany. Did you send your offering, Tiffany? Tiffany, did you still want a reading? If so, let me know. And I will make time to do yours. Just go ahead and let me know. Tiffany, are you still here? If you're not here, Tiffany, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the night, but let me know. Okay, I see your offering now. Okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevate. And I'm gonna finish with you completely because I'm hot. I'm really hot. It's hot in here. So even if there's anybody that wanted a reading and I didn't get to them tonight, or you had to dip in and out because I know some of you guys watch from work or you're on the road. When you come in on Sunday, just let me know, and I'll be happy to pick up this reading on Sunday for those who didn't get to it tonight. But I gotta stop after Tiffany because I'm a little hot. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits that walk with me. What wisdom does Tiffany need in preparation for Fet Gede coming up next weekend? What messages do her ancestors want her to have? How can she best honor them for Fet Gede? And what is the blessing on the other side of this holiday? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. My new Cash App, it is scrolling below, Nicole. It is Soleil Conjure, SOLE Conjure, $ Soleil Conjure. I know it's going to take a couple of weeks for people to get used to the new one. And there's nothing wrong with my old one. It's just for business purposes. I don't know how many of you guys that are small business owners have tried to use your Cash Apps to file taxes. Or let me rephrase that, who've had to use your Cash App earnings to file taxes. That shit is annoying as fuck. It's annoying as fuck. So that's why I started a new Cash App, to be able to separate things and make it easier for myself. Okay. So in terms of the messages that your ancestors want you to have right now, they want you need a rebirth around how you think, right? And what I mean by that is that you know more than you give yourself credit for. So the Ace of Swords is coming up to say that they really want to work with you on trusting your downloads. A lot of times your first insight is correct. Your first thought is correct. Your Ori is strong, you just don't trust her, right? And so the Ace of Swords is coming up to say that you really need to work on trusting your insights, because they tend to be very, very precise and sharp. That's what I mean when I say you need a new beginning around how you think, because half the time you know answers. It's just that there's so much trust in other people that you second guess. And sometimes you get wisdom from other people and it's not even right? You end up going against the thing you know, when what you know is what you should go with. The way that you can really honor them between now and then, further meditation, deepening your meditation, but also consider taking some sort of social media break or fast, right? I know different people have different relationships to social media, especially depending on their jobs or what they do for a living, or whatever. So if you feel like you're not in a place to just completely shut down your apps between now and November 3rd or 2nd, then, maybe doing some sort of sun up to sundown something. But right now they need you to go inward. Also, if you have not done an ORE cleansing or feeding in a while, now would be a really good time to, because the hermit is coming up to say that what they want you to prioritize between now and then is really deepening your connection with your own personal spirit, right? And we know hermit is about disconnecting from everyone else so that you can be tapped into you, right? The blessing that's on the other side of this it's twofold. A, there's a new love coming into your life. 8 of Wands is Cupid's arrows. I don't know if you're ready for this. I don't know if you even expect it, but there is a new love coming into your life. But the other blessing on the other side of this is that instead of being in that debilitated Ace of Swords energy where you stagnate due to overthinking or not trusting yourself, it will put you more in action. Instead of overthinking and looking from evidence from the outside world, you will be in that I'm ready. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. I'm just going to trust myself and go with things. You're going to be prepared for opportunity as opposed to stagnating and stalling opportunity through the overthinking. Okay? Let me know if that resonated with you. Let me know if that helped. Alrighty, I hope that this was helpful to people. I enjoyed it, even though I'm hot as hell right now. I enjoyed this reading. I thought this was good. I like this particular reading. I may actually offer it again at some point, maybe on the Facebook group or something. Again, for other people between now and Fekgede who didn't have the opportunity to get it. But I feel like the wisdom and the insights that came up are really good for folks. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this time together tonight. Just to wrap up in closing with our earlier conversation, please be careful when you talk to your Christian friends, when you listen to people who have a really weird understanding of Christianity. This rise in Christian nationalism is really making people a little dumb. It really is. And it's causing people to not question the ways in which Christianity gets weaponized in order to, perpetuate white supremacy. I think of the verse, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." We're going to hear a lot of people that look like us say some idiotic shit. Whether it's about ancestral veneration or whether it is about the nature of God. And it's only going to get worse. This rise in Christian nationalism has a purpose. It is meant to separate us, and it's meant to specifically when it comes to people of color, it's meant to make them feel like they are not as powerful as they are. And so don't submit to it. Forgive people for being stupid, but also don't engage them. Because if there's any time that we need our ancestors, we need them now, especially to get through all the evil shit that they have planned for us. Love you all. Thank you so much. Cannot wait to see y'all Sunday. Can't wait to see y'all Sunday, but I hope the weekend is long because this week was way too fucking fast. So I want everybody to get some rest. Take good care of yourself. And I will see you Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. EST. All right? Love you. Take care. And see y'all in a couple days.